Back again with another video. This time I'm looking at the Sirui 3T-R. This was sent in via the company for a review. So what I'm going to do is my usual unboxing, show it to you up close, and then give you a few thoughts on this product. There's your user guide and warranty card, Type A to Type C cable, and there's also an Allen key included too. This is the bag that they supply, and it's made out of nylon. It isn't padded, but it is fairly thick material, and you do have the drawstring so you can close it up, keep all the bits stored inside. Just put some basic specs up there for you to have a look at, and I'll show you up close in detail. They've gone with a built-in ball head on this one, and you'll see the knob, or rather sort of wing nut shape, on the right hand side for the adjustment. What I've noticed is you have to turn it quite a bit for it to loosen off fully, which is quite good because you don't want that flapping around too much. Here's a shot with a quick release plate. You just push in the red button. You'll see the stops at the end. It only comes out towards you, so there's no chance of it slipping off, flying off the back. Quite a good design on that. I quite like that. I think that's well thought out. And when you push this in, you can just push it in directly. You don't need to push the button in, and it locks in place, no movement at all. You can use this with the Arca Swiss heads as well. That's a nice touch. A couple of close-up shots for you. You'll be able to see there's some grooves in the ball joint. Perhaps that's why it gives a bit more resistance when you're actually locking it off slightly. It's mostly aluminium, full metal body, and it seems to be the anodized aluminium as well, so the finishing should hold up. There is a 1/4 inch thread on the side, so you can attach things like a microphone, possibly a small LED light. The remote controller is held in place with what looks like a silicone band. Seems to be pretty secure, so hopefully that will hold up over time. So just slip that out, and then you can use this away from the mini tripod. Just give you a quick close-up shot on the remote controller. This is the only item, apart from the dongle, which is made out of plastic, but it feels reasonably thick. Quite a firm switch for the on and off. You won't knock that by accident. The shutter button on this is a 2-stage switch, so it's just like the shutter on the camera, so half press to focus. You have a slider switch for the telephoto and wide for the zooming. Red button is for the video, and then C1 is the custom one button on the Sony cameras, although the compatibility, I'll show you that a bit later on, doesn't work with all of them. Nothing else to see on the remote apart from the Type-C charging port on the left hand side. Take a look at the tripod legs. These are held in place with magnets. You can see that the dongle sits in between the cutout sections that they've done on the legs. It feels quite strong, and there is some resistance on those legs so they don't move around too easily. Rubber pads on all of them, so that means to say it should stay in place quite nicely on smooth surfaces. Now I'm going to show you the Bluetooth dongle that's included. You won't need this for all of the cameras, but on some of the ones, the one that I'm going to show you, you will need to use it on that because not all of the cameras have built-in Bluetooth. Shouldn't have any problems with this opening by accident. It's quite nicely rounded as well, so it is quite comfortable to hold. They've gone with a sort of satin finish on the aluminium. It does feel well machined. This isn't a cheap mini tripod, but then it is more affordable than the Sony official version. It is a shame that they couldn't fit a D-ring on there because I would have liked to have been able to have tightened that up without using a tool. So you'll have to use either the Allen key or a coin. But once you do, make sure you tighten it right the way down, and it does grip quite firmly. You won't have too many problems even if you loosen off the head because it won't come crashing down. It will only go at a certain angle forward, and onto the side angle you'll see it goes just over the 90 degrees. Of course it's not going to be as versatile as a normal tripod, but it could be something which does come in handy. I will now show you the connector for the multi-interface port. What you need to do with that is make sure you don't try and push it into the micro USB if you have one, and then push it down firmly. You will feel it click. Hit the 2 buttons to pair up the Bluetooth. When it is paired successfully, you will see that the right LED stops blinking. The one on the left is for the battery indicator, and on the dongle you'll also see that that stops blinking once you've paired it up. Just quickly showing you the autofocus now with the half press on the shutter. You can see for focus, full press, then you take the picture. Right hand side we have the red dot for the video button. The custom one doesn't do anything on this camera because I'm using the dongle. If you're using this with a camera with built-in Bluetooth, just go into the menu and pair it up from there. A nice touch with this is that you can use it with phones if you want to. On this particular phone, Pixel 3a, I have to use the shutter button for stills and video. The video button doesn't work. That might be different on other phones, but it is useful that you can use it with that. Might be worth investing in a phone holder. There are plenty of those around at reasonable prices. If you have a camera like I do, A6300, or a very common one, the A6000, you can just use the dongle for that. The dongle solution might not be ideal, but it does work and it gives compatibility with cameras that do have the multi-interface port. A couple of areas that I would tweak on this. I would like to see a cover on the remote for the USB Type-C. It is comfortable, but I would like to see a little bit more grip on the back of the legs. Perhaps I can put a sort of pattern on there. I don't find the dongle sticking out much of a problem, to be honest, but if they could shave a bit of size off that, that would be a nice improvement. Apart from a few small areas that I've mentioned, I think it's quite a nice product. Hope that video was useful to you. Thanks for watching, it is appreciated, and I'll see you in my next one.